Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wednesday Morning Brews. Let me start off by saying I apologize for yesterday since there was no episode. There were other things I had to tend to. I will do my best to not let you down from here on out. Today we're talking about training processes. So I'm just going to jump right into it. I did notice the audio on Monday's episode was a little bit off, so I made some adjustments. I'm not too sure what happened since I don't really touch it once I get it to where I like it. However, hopefully this one is a bit better. Training processes. I have 3 bullet points I want to talk about. Number 1, design and develop. Number 2, implement and test. Number 3, train and improve. So what got me thinking about this topic is basically yesterday I was working on a process that allows me to, once I create a shipment, get the labels to my team in any case I am not on site. So I guess you could say working to make sure that either my job can be done remotely or they can work independently as much as possible. And in doing so, I noticed some things that work really well and allow me to move forward with that, and some things that need a little bit of adjustment. And so, first of all, we'll talk about design and develop. So basically, after they are finished packaging products and basically doing the physical aspect, what is required to handle our clients' inventory, then I have to, or someone has to, create the shipment and go through certain steps on the computer that do things such as creating labels, or generating the labels so they can be printed, tells us where certain things are headed in case we have to rearrange the pallets or make certain adjustments, gives us a shipment ID, and then once the shipment is submitted, we get more labels, which go on the outside of all the pallets, and then about 24 hours later, or at least the morning of the pickup, the BOL is generated, or the bill of lading, and we get a pro number if it is a third-party carrier. And then all of that information, once we use it, apply all the labels to the boxes and the pallets and get all the paperwork ready for the pickup, then it also has to be entered or updated in our system. So basically, I take everything that they've done. I had to figure out how to get it into the computer so that I'm able to see it if I'm not on site. And I actually did that early on, was able to do it. But really now, it's just making sure that if the one guy who knows how to do it isn't around, that everyone else is trained up on the process. And so they get everything entered into the computer. Then they say, hey, we've got this many pallets or this much product that is ready to go. And so then I go into the computer, I can see that, I build the shipment with it. And once I do that, I basically added an upload feature in our system where I can take the PDF labels that the system generates and just upload it directly into our system. Then I tell them, okay, a shipment is ready. Maybe it ends in such and such, XYZ. Maybe I give them the last 3. Maybe if they're in the computer system and they notice that I did it, then they know they're listed in order. So the one at the bottom would be the most recent one. so they can go into that one and print the labels, apply them. Once they're sure there's no issues, they let me know. I finalize the shipment, and then I can upload the rest of the labels and update all the numbers and stuff like that. So basically in designing that, it was, so I'll use the labels for an example. The system generates them and gives them to me, but it comes in a PDF format, and I was like, okay, well, I can have our system basically design the exact same labels with me entering the information in, such as the shipment ID. That's something that we can't come up with. It just gives it to us. But basically setting up that PDF document and having the system generate the label and do, if there's 200 boxes, then generate 200 different labels would be a little bit labor intensive. So then I was like, all right, well, how do I get the labels that are generated from me over to them? And of course, we use cloud storage such as Google Drive, but let's say the internet is down, or I always store them in there, and then instead of sorting them in chronological order, for some reason they're sorted alphabetically, and they can't find the labels. They're looking in this folder of box labels, and it would essentially contain all the box labels from the entire time we've been in business. So basically inside of our system, each shipment has a status. And so I set their window to only display shipments that are in processing status. So if the shipment has shipped and the status has changed, then they're not overwhelmed with every single shipment we've ever dealt with. So it's easier. And then they just click on the one they're working on, or the one that I tell them, hey, this is the last 3. The labels are right there. They click on that and it opens in a new window, and they're able to print the box labels for that shipment without as much confusion. So I basically designed that process, I implemented it, and began to test it. So I tested it a couple of times on some shipments before I decided to tell them how it was going to work. And then we got into the training and improvement steps. So training and improvement, really just showing them how it works. So I always show them how to do it. I have them do it. And then I'll watch them do it. So the second time I'll tell them what to do and have them kind of drive, so to speak. And then the last time I'll watch them do it, just to make sure that they know and understand how to do it. At least enough that if they forget or can't figure it out and they were to call me on the phone, I could walk them through it. So that's an overview of just how I kind of came up with that process, implemented it, made sure that it worked, and then trained it to the guys, and then slowly work on little improvements along the way. That's really all I have for you today. I hope that is of value. Like I said, I will make sure to put more content out. If you've got any value from this episode or any episodes of Business and Brews or Morning Brews, then be sure to leave us a 5-star review, subscribe, and tell your friends to subscribe. I will see you on tomorrow's episode.